glimpse into my childhood. I'm not going to take really long, but that's me. Now, the thing is, I grew up in India. I was born in England, and I moved here at the age of 3. And I have to say that I had an upbringing that was as Indian as it gets. I'm Indian at heart. And I grew up really having a childhood that was really quite carefree, no stresses about an identity crisis or worrying about, who I was or what people perceived me to be. And I have to say, I'm hoping that most people can relate to that kind of a childhood, where everything is really carefree, nothing much stresses you out. What begins now, though, as we get older, and maybe I'm hoping I look kind of young, but I'll tell you how old I am in a second. But when we enter our teens, or at least when I did, there was a lot of self-talk that happened in my head. And a lot of it, when I think about it now, was negative. And therefore, that's the next part of my little story. That's me growing up. Can you find me right there on the corner? I look happy, right? The thing is, I was happy. But this photograph did something to me through my childhood, because all I could focus on was the size of my calves. Okay? So they are, what, 2 or 3 times larger than my friends sitting next to me? Am I right? Now, this made me realize that, I'm bigger, right? Definitely taller. I was also nicknamed Macho Man in school. And although I didn't have any major issues with body image per se, it was something like this that would definitely play on my mind and make me realize, or it would actually manifest into something where I would be like, I am slightly different. And I feel this part of childhood everybody goes through is where you start to get these feelings of this talk that is somewhat negative. You compare yourself, it's self-doubt. It happens. I was somewhere around 12, 13, early teen years. This carries on through my school years. Now, I was sporty, but I was big, which meant I had some skill. But you can see me there, looking again, really happy. Clearly, I knew how to pose for photographs. Legs bigger and whiter than most of the people around me. I have to say that when I'm able to sit here confidently saying this, but for a long time, these pictures were hidden in my house, as far under coffee table books as possible, because I didn't want people to see them. But all through school, I was shy, underconfident when it came to public speaking, ironically. In fact, all my report cards will tell you that I really lacked speaking in public and I needed to participate more. But this was my teen years, and 14, 15, 16. So I still knew that I had this issue with confidence and I was quieter. But, luckily during these years, no matter how I looked at it, and what I remember is that worrying about our image size and dieting and the world that we exist in today didn't exist then. Because honestly, when I think back now, I could probably eat so much Maggie, more than you guys could probably eat right now, literally in one sleepover. So I remember not having an issue with food, etc., but I remember having a confidence issue. I remember having, these thoughts that kept coming into my mind that were rather negative, where you talk negatively to yourself. And that was what I remember quite clearly when I was growing up. Now, as I grew up and I went to college, I like to call these voices in my head just self-talk, because I chose graphic design, ironically, in school, in college when I went there, and that meant I could hide behind a computer screen and I didn't have to speak to anybody, which was great, because that meant I didn't have to interact and have to meet too many people or participate, or so I thought, because college, at least where I studied in London, meant you had to present your work, right? If you're a graphic designer, you need to have an opinion and you need to be able to sell a pitch. So, in college, I would spend sleepless nights practicing how to speak publicly, how to present my work. And let's be honest, there were situations that looked somewhat like this, where we would all have to display our work on the wall, and then the teacher would nicely go and pick out things that they would like or not like at all. And usually mine would be in that category, because you're learning and it's fine, it is what it is. But I would never claim my work when they'd be like, so, whose is that? Just from their tone, I knew I ain't answering. I'm just going to sit quietly over here and let someone else just carry on and be like, they don't know whose it is. Great. So there was a lot of that, okay, all through college. And the truth is, when I came back to India after studying, I got through college, I did all right. I was good at what I did, and I was good at drawing, and I was good at graphic design and computer skills and all of that. And when I came back, I started working for an advertising agency. Now, I was, still quiet and not so confident, but again, it allowed me to hide behind the computer. And through that, because advertising is a really stressful world to be in, I was able to quit that and start my own design firm, which was a little better because, now I was my own boss. But that didn't mean that I still didn't have all the stresses of running a business, etc. And I have to say that a lot of the time, when you're alone behind a computer, I'm sure a lot of you can maybe relate in this room, you have a lot of time where you can just talk to yourself. I don't know if people do that, and I did do that a lot. And I would really start to question if this was what I really loved doing. I was good at it, but I don't know if I really loved it. And I would spend and catch myself, looking out of the window and being like, wow, dude, I wish I was just lying there in the sun, having a nimbu pani and just relaxing, rather than working to deadlines. And that was what I used to feel like all the time. And this quote that I found really sort of resonated with me, because back then, actually, it really stuck with me, because I wasn't sure if I was loving and enjoying what I was doing. What happened next was this desire to do something crazy and different and, something that wasn't so quiet and alone. I decided to challenge myself, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to climb a mountain. I'm just going to pick the third highest mountain in the world, and I'm going to climb it. I found 2 people to climb with me, and I did it. And honestly, this was a turning point. And the main reason, I think, is when I think about it now, is I needed to get in some kind of shape. I need to get a little fit. So I thought, I need to join a gym. Much to the people who accompanied me and thought, I'm just going to run up that mountain. I don't need to train for it. I took it a little more seriously. And I was like, I need to train for it. And in the back of my head, about this time, I feel cultural things in society were different. There was a lot of awareness about self-image and losing weight, and things were flying around now. And I remember thinking that, great, I can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. I can climb a mountain, I can get fit, and I'll lose some weight in the whole process. I'm going to look fab by the end of this trip. Anyway, what happens, and what did happen, is that even though I managed to climb this mountain and I got to the top and all of that, I didn't lose weight, but I became fit because, you need some fuel to get up this mountain, right? Nobody's going to carry you up the mountain, right? So what does that mean? You eat. Okay, so I didn't lose the weight part. It got me fit, and that was good enough, because getting into the first exercise class that I decided to join, so this is just jumping back a little bit before this, where I was like, a couple of months, I need to get fit, I need to get to the gym. Now, this class, like I said, was a changing moment for me, as was deciding to climb Kilimanjaro. And those voices in my head, because I'm telling you, I came from a background of a lot of talking to myself, okay? Some people might think I'm a little crazy, but it happened, okay? It happens, and I'm hoping, I think most of you can relate. You talk to yourself a lot, maybe you don't realize it, but now you will, now that I'm telling you. But this chapter of my life became a lot more positive. Not in necessarily when I think about it then, but I knew that the conversation in my head was different. And this exercise class actually changed my life, because when I walked in there, I was probably half the age of everybody else in that room. These women, right here in Delhi, not so long ago, they had the energy that I can't even describe. They had the confidence, they had this attitude where they were just like, I'm gonna let loose. They were so serious about it. I mean, I would reach there and I'm this shy, quiet little person, and they'd be like standing at the door, like aggressively ready to go and get their spot in their in the class, and I was like, wow, this is intense. And then the music would come on, and they would just start, warming up, and they were looking at themselves in the mirror, and I was just like, whoa, like, who are all of them, and where is this space? But there was something about their energy and the fact that they were all doing it together. I was just like, wow, this just, for some reason, it got me hooked. And I was like, you know what, I just want to be able to not necessarily do or look like them, but I wanted to have that feeling of letting loose. I just had never done it. I never thought that I could be so free with lots of people, no computer screen in sight, No deadlines, just me and letting loose. They literally had me hooked. I came back week after week. And one fine day, this is after a few years of doing it, my graphic design is still happening by the side. I saw this lady, this trainer, she came, she was new, she was covering the class. And honestly, her energy and her command when she walked into that class, there were 50 of us, was something that I was like, you know what? I want to be her. And I just want to be like her. I want to have that confidence. And I want to be able to feel like how she feels. And I want to be able to do that to everybody else with such easy command as just her coming up there and the aura that she was able to give. The truth is, though, I realized that life is probably, and actually is, too short to have just one passion or one area of work or whatever it is that really sets your heart on fire. And I felt that I wanted to be her. And the problem is that I needed to prove to myself and everybody around me, which meant I needed to re-qualify myself. I needed to study a little bit more in order to become what I wanted to become. I wanted to create that energy. And when I look back now, it had nothing to do with how she looked. Nothing. Nothing to do with her body shape or size. It was just to do with that confidence. And I really had this longing feeling that I wanted exactly that. And so I got myself certified as a trainer. I was 29 years old when I did that. And I was like, you know, I'm going to take it to the next step. Before I'm 30, I want to open my own space. I just want to have a space where I can do the same thing that she did. I want people to feel the same way. I don't want people to feel like they need to be a particular way or be a particular shape or a size or anything like that. I just wanted them all to join together and have a really great time. And therefore, Studio 60, which is my studio in Delhi, was born, and I found a partner who could help me do that. And we put this studio together. And it was incredible because not only did it teach me that the challenges in life never stop. Even if you're doing what you love, or even if you found something new, you are never going to be challenge-free. You are always going to have things that are going to challenge you. And for us, it was running a business, right? For the both of us. Like, we needed to pay rent, right? We needed to pay these trainers that we had, and we needed to make sure that we gave a service that was worthy of what we were trying to sell. On top of that, my fears of becoming a trainer and speaking out loud and learning to, learn on the job, let's say, because I only became a trainer 2 months before I decided to open this space. And I had no intention of taking all of those classes. I just wanted to be a trainer and know the business because I had been on the receiving end, like the client side. And I said I wanted to be and create that space. So I had these two types of pressure that were on my head: running this business, making it work, and practicing and being who I thought I could be and thinking how I could create that energy the same way that lady had done for me when I walked out of that class. And that's what I wanted to do. Today, though, I have to tell you that the studio, this mission statement that I wrote back when we started, we've been open for 5.5 years now. We have about 300 strong members. It's a community, it's a space, it's a vibe, it's energy that absolutely creates this feeling of joy and letting loose. And I really feel proud and grateful because out of those 300 members, at least 200 of them have been with me since the day I opened, right? Which is something that means a lot because when I think about it now, I honestly can't believe that I was able to create that space and I was able to command it with confidence, and I believed in what I wanted to create. Here's a little glimpse into all these happy faces, just one of many classes that we do at the studio. Everyone having a good time, including my staff, by the way, who I threaten once in a while to do a few push-ups. They can't just stand at the front desk and smile. They need to be able to perform a little bit. This leads on to a really interesting topic, pep talks. This is important because I learned that those voices in our head are something that we need to give. They need to be able to come out loud sometimes, right? And we need to sometimes keep giving them to ourselves constantly, no matter what area we're doing or whether we're happy with what we're doing. And whatever passion we might be following, whatever it might be, those pep talks are so important. And this chapter is crazy, because sometimes when I look at this picture, or I look at any pictures of myself for that matter, firstly, I can't believe I'm wearing not too many clothes, okay? Because I didn't show my arms till I was 18 years old in school, because like I said, I was macho man, right? I was not proud of those big arms, which I am now. You want to ask me to show you, I'll show you them in 1 second. Things have changed. So when I look at these photographs or videos of me, I can't believe that that's me. And I really look at them and I don't see necessarily my body all the time. Well, that's not what I'm looking at. But I'm looking at this person that I've become. And sometimes I can't believe that I was able to do it, and sometimes I don't believe it's me, especially moving videos. Wow, when I started 5 years ago, there was no such thing, or Instagram was not as mainstream as it is right now. Things were a lot more about a photograph here and there. So when I see myself actually moving and jumping around, I am so mesmerized by what my body can do. I used to hate on that body so much when I was younger, and it used to be reasons for why I didn't do things or cover myself up. I can jump, I can lift really heavy things, I can skip, I could never do things like that. And you know, as my studio grew with me, my body grew with me, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to get big muscles, I want to grow, I want to be able to do better at what I'm able to put forward. All of that, and the way my body was starting to look was a byproduct of how I was feeling. Because I was feeling great, and I was feeling challenged and out of my comfort zone. And that's exactly what I look like here. And this is what I look like nearly every day, through every class that I do. I'm proud to look like this. Honestly, I have a little sister. Every time I put up a picture that looks like this, which is every second day because I look like I've been through hell, she'll message me and be like, Zoe, you can't put up stuff like that, dude. You're looking terrible. I'm just like, it's the truth. It's hard work. Sweat is hard work. I have some people come up to me today and they'll be like, please, can you tell us a workout that doesn't let us sweat? And I'm just like, huh? They're like, well, you know, we don't want to wash our hair. I was like, huh? It's like, what? The truth is, I live for this. This feeling, I can't even describe it to you. It's exactly how I felt when I walked into that class. I was so energized. I was so confident. I felt so worthy, and that I was able to, you know, push myself and achieve something that I could never imagine doing. And it was the same person. And this used to shock me. And it still does, every day. Like, I did one of these yesterday, I'm going to do one of these tomorrow. I'm going to look like that every day. And I'm proud of it, and I love it. I can't believe now, these pep talks, by the way, are still carrying on in my head, that I'm able to have such events like this, where I'm able to gather people in big spaces and really excitedly torture them. I love torturing them. I want them to feel exactly the same way, because I can guarantee that they'll feel exactly the same way, because I felt it and I was able to live it. Events like this are just mind-blowing. I can't believe that I'm able to reach out to any amounts of people. I have a huge focus on working with women and fitness, because I feel women probably don't take as much advantage of getting fit as they should, rather worrying about how they look and their shape and their size. And I'm so grateful to tell you that I never chased a certain body shape or size. I never did. How I looked was a byproduct. I chased this idea of confidence, and you know what? Your body speaks for itself. If you can outdo yourself and perform and do things that with your body, I mean, our bodies were designed to move. It's absolutely bizarre to me when I think about the fact that there are people still who don't, right? It's important, and it's not only beneficial, which you hear all the time, but it makes you feel on top of the world. And I'm amazingly grateful that I can do this and have this platform to reach out to as many people to hopefully feel how I do. The last chapter, which I'm going to wrap things up with, is I want you, like I said, I'm not going to teach you anything, but I want you to take away a few things that I think I learned from what becoming fit taught me, okay? And I think you can apply this to everything in your life. And I tried to creatively, you know, the little graphic designer in me, kind of make them with a few items that I carry right here in my gym bag. This gym bag comes with me everywhere, okay? Now, I've got a couple of items in here that I'd like to share with you. But not everything that defines me is inside this bag, okay? I could not fit my dogs or my husband or my parents. Can't fit them all in here. I wish I could. My dogs would have loved it, by the way, over here. But yes, what I do have in here are a couple of things that remind me of why I do what I do, and reminds me how far I've come, and it also reminds me through the day how important healthy habits are. And they can be very small, and they make the biggest difference, okay? Now, I've got in here a very old-style clock, right? Now, obviously, we have these on our phone, but I just wanted to put it over here, because I want to tell you, this has taught me the value of time, okay? Exercise has taught me the value of time. We all have the same 24 hours. You can make any excuses that you want with whatever you want to do. You don't need 1 hour, 3 hours. You don't need even necessarily 30 minutes. You can even do something in short as 5 to 10 minutes of any kind of movement or anything that reminds you that you're doing something better for your body and for your mind, right? So this taught me that I should not waste or focus energy on things I can't control. The essence of time is so important. That's all we've got. So you want to make the use of it, focus on where you can drive your energy to things that you can use and actually make use of. Yeah? Okay, so that's my first lesson. I'm going to test you all at the end. So just remember, okay? Next one. This water bottle. You can see it's half full, right? Well, not only is this so important because drinking water is one of the keys of staying healthy, and we forget it, but I look at that and I think, is this half empty or is it half full? Right? And that's a way of looking at life. Replace your negative thoughts with positive ones. Right? Look at life in that way. Because you only, again, coming back to the first one, you only have 24 hours. Think positively, believe you can do something, and weigh it out and go for it. I have a box of nuts. Okay? So it can be a bag, it can be a box, whatever it is you want. This reminds me a little bit of my nutrition through the day, so that I can snack healthy. Those of you who were asking me earlier, get yourself a bag of nuts. Very useful. But this teaches me that I should be prepared, right? Again, if I eat a little bit through the day, I'm not going to end up eating everything I should have eaten for the past 10 days in one sitting at night in front of Netflix, right? So that's a good reminder to be prepared and make a plan. Plan ahead, have goals. They really, really count, okay? The next one. My jacket. Okay? So this jacket, for me, is just a personal object. It's a reminder of how far I've come. There was one time I would never, ever show you guys my arms. I just wouldn't. But this jacket is a reminder that I need to feel uncomfortable through life. Continue to feel uncomfortable. Get out of my comfort zone and push myself. So this little personal object is a reminder for me. The next one is my skipping rope. This thing comes with me everywhere. It's a great reminder that I can get in a quick workout anywhere. But all things apart from the obvious, what this taught me was to be mindful. When I started skipping, which was about 4.5 years ago, it's my preferred form of cardio, but I couldn't skip more than 4 to 5 skips in a row, right? So that's, if you've ever seen skipping, it's like 1 jump, 2 jump, right? I can do 5,000 now without stopping, okay? And when I think about it now, it's been 4.5 years, I've probably done 1.4 million jump rope, okay? If I was to add it all, because I did it every day as my warm-up. And when I think about it now, what it taught me was focus, it taught me to be persistent, and it taught me mindfulness. That alone time that I had with myself, I tell you, was all positive alone time. Those thoughts in my head were all positive. So this skipping rope has lots of value for me. The last one, a diary and a pen. Alright? This is simply a reminder that in this world, we need to take our time to rest. Don't underplay rest. It's important to take time to recover and to reflect on everything that you do and why you're doing it and what you do it for. And writing notes is a great way to recall what you did, where you're going, and what you want to do with it. So my 6 points, I'm going to test you again in a second, which I learned from being fit, were all to do with the thoughts in my head. They were all to do with building strength and confidence that all really started on the inside. And what I really want to leave you guys with today, apart from these 6 things, because I really hope that they're going to add value to your life, is a quick reminder, which I'm majorly reminded right now, because honestly, apart from sitting on this has made me have to practice my balance, if you've noticed, because I honestly tell you, it's kept me focused, it's kept me in the game with what I'm doing. And that's what life is. You need to stay focused and believe in what you can do. Listen to those thoughts that you have in your head, because they really, really do need some way to come out and be spoken, right? They have power. And honestly, this has taught me that strength is nothing to do with our bodies as much as it is to do with our minds. And if it wasn't for the stability and the balance of how I've been able to sit on this the whole time that I've been talking to you, it's also that reminder that everything starts on the inside. Strength especially starts on the inside. And I just want to say a quick thing before I leave, is that all of you guys who are sitting here and who are studying, or you're studying obviously, basically, and most of you are working, and I'm sure most of you in this room have desk jobs, my little to leave you with is please replace your chairs with one of these. You will thank me, because it will fix your back, it will fix your posture, because in order to do this, your core is activated. And this is my only tiny little tip of fitness that I'm going to teach you today. The rest, I promise you, including this, is all an inside job. Thank you guys. Thank you.